This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 187. The Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club WA6ITF Memorial recorded live on Thursday, October 24th, 2019. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight we're joined by Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. Last week here on the show, Jerry Ellsworth, AI6TK, and Amy Herndon, AI6ZU, were here to talk about augmented reality in contesting. And if you missed that show, you can listen anytime. Just go to hamtalklive.com or your favorite podcast app or YouTube, or you can catch the rebroadcast on WTWW 5085 AM Saturday evenings at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll talk to Don. We'll get some questions answered. If you have a question and you're listening to us live on Thursday night, you can give us a call. The telephone number you can call when we get to that point, I'll go ahead and give that to you now. It's 812-NET-HAM-1, 812-638-4261. We'll let you know when it's time to call, but go ahead and have that number handy, 812-638-4261. You can give us a call. You can also tweet us. We'll be watching Twitter throughout the evening. It's at Ham Talk Live on Twitter. So I'll be back with Dawn after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, honey! Have you seen the PL259s anywhere?
No, I haven't. Come on, kids. Let's go. There's just one place to go for all of your connector needs.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
A giant warehouse of connectors and adapters for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And they have antennas, soldering supplies, cables, meters, and more. Where do you go if you want to buy a connector at a fraction of retail cost?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 solder-type PL259s, get the 10th one for just 1 penny. They make great Christmas presents. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a PL259?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Hi, I'm Scott Cole, KB9AMM, president of Tower Electronics. I like the company so much that I bought it.
Tower Electronics, coming to a Hamfest near you, or online at pl-259.com. And we're in the yellow pages under Amateur Radio Connectors.
My, wherever did you get that lovely PL259?
Tower Electronics, pl-259.com, or call 920-435-2973.
Do we sell PL259 connectors?
Copy 594 from Ham Talk Live.
Yeah, get that 594 ready, or 595, or wherever you are for CQ Worldwide this weekend. Well, Tower Electronics will be in Lawrenceville, Georgia on November 2nd and 3rd, and then Montgomery, Alabama, November 8th and 9th, and Fort Wayne, Indiana, November 16th and 17th. But you can visit them anytime at pl-259.com. Thanks to Scott and Jill for sponsoring the show at Tower Electronics once again tonight, and they bring you Ham Talk Live each and every week. With me again tonight is Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. He joins us once again from Picayune, Mississippi. You know him from Amateur Radio Newsline and Ham Nation, and his day job is working at the iHeartMedia radio stations in New Orleans, producing commercials, and is formerly an on-air personality. Don is a native of Shawnee, Oklahoma, first licensed in 1995. He's an extra class license holder and an active volunteer examiner, and he has a green car fetish.
Well, let's not forget I have
you said red guitar
fetish. And a red guitar fetish, yeah. So. Something about green cars and red guitars. And I just want to say that following Jerry Ellsworth and Amy Herndon, that's a pretty tall order. We had them on Ham Nation, as you know, last week, the day before you had them on Ham Talk Live, and man, that's a tough act to follow, Jerry and Amy. Those girls got big brains.
Don, you know I love you like a brother, but
no, they're smart.
Sure
they're brilliant.
I'm not sure you can follow them.
They got no. That's what I'm saying. I can't. I feel so inadequate. That's what I said on Ham Nation. Don, you want to say anything to Jerry and Amy? So I'm just sitting here feeling so inadequate. I mean, I'm still sitting in the corner eating my crayons, and these girls are doing this augmented reality 3D stuff. I'm like, what the heck?
And making their own chips in the garage.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah. Jerry, in her spare time, makes chips, makes integrated circuits from scratch. It's like, jeez. Anyway, that's not why they call tonight. But just Jerry and Amy, just God, amazing. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, it was a slow night, so obviously I'm back on.
Exactly. And how do the crayons taste?
Well, I'm very disappointed because the purple ones don't taste like grape at all.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
You got to do something about that. We need flavored crayons.
Well, I'm getting them from the dollar store, so it's it's all I can afford on a budget.
Well, it's been way too long. I wanted to get you back here on the show, and then we've been talking about this. Yeah, I say that now, which we were talking about if the wine glass was going to be full or empty at the beginning of the show or the end. But
it was full before. It's empty now. It will be full again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about, Newsline getting Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF's call sign for quite a while.
Yes.
And that finally happened. You are the trustee of WA6ITF now.
And could not be more proud. It was something that, I don't remember who originally of the Newsline staff had the idea. Might have been Paul. Paul seems to be the idea guy, good or bad.
Might have been Paul.
Yeah, good or bad. Paul Brown, W9GCO. But anyway, it was kind of a consensus, like, why don't we do a Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club? And, man, it wouldn't be cool if we could get Bill's call. Look, well, yeah, that would be cool. Let's see if we can do that. And long story short, we did, thanks to Bill's daughter and Bill's wife, who is unfortunately in the deep throes of Alzheimer's. But his daughter aided us in that, in getting Bill's call, which was still active. I mean, he had not been gone all that long, 3-4 years. So his call was still active. We had to get his call canceled and have, a letter from the family stating that, what we were doing is what they wanted. So, yeah, we now have WA6ITF as the duly assigned call sign for the Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club, and we just could not be more thrilled about it.
Well, tell us a little bit about Bill for those who don't know Bill, because it's kind of hard to believe that there are people who don't remember Bill because they are newly licensed, and so
right, exactly.
They may not know. So remind everybody about Bill.
Well, Bill Pasternak is one of the founders, along with Jim Hendershot, of Amateur Radio Newsline, which has been going on for 40 years now. It's hard to believe, but over 40 years. It started as just a couple of guys on top of a mountaintop in Southern California on a net for the Westlink linked repeater system, who were giving basically a state of the system report. And it was called the Westlink Report. And then they started adding other news items to it related to ham radio. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it morphed into Amateur Radio Newsline, which was back in the early days before the internet, was cut on tape and was FedExed across the country back to Bill, whoever anchored the newscast. And it went out actually on dedicated telephone lines all around the country. That's how you got Amateur Radio Newsline, was you called a telephone to listen to it, or to record it, or to play it over your net. Well, now, 40 years later, it's all done digitally over the internet via, we share files back and forth via Dropbox, which is a heck of a lot cheaper and easier than, FedExing tape, back when I got into it, when I got licensed in 1995. But yeah, Bill Pasternak founded that, and he also founded and began the Young Ham of the Year Award back 30 some odd years ago. And his passion was to spread the word about amateur radio and education and kids, and just lumping all that together. And that's kind of Bill's legacy. He passed away about 4 years ago, and we are carrying on. I've said many times, we cannot fill his shoes. No one can. But we can take the next step and continue the footsteps that ended when he passed away. We can continue the walk and leave our own footsteps, but no one is filling his shoes. So that's kind of the legacy of Bill Pasternak, and doing the Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club with WA6ITF as the call sign is just a way to remember him and memorialize him and keep that call on the air. And we're going to we have plans for the call sign. We haven't done any activations yet, but we're going to be doing some activations and maybe some special events. And I can probably see, I could foresee doing something for maybe his birthday or something like that. I tell you what I would really like to do, and this just popped into my head, is Bill always did the town hall meeting at Hamvention, and of course Hamvention has their special event. I would very much like to sit there at the controls of the special event station at Ham Nation and do that under the as WA6ITF, and I think that may be something that we'll try to do in upcoming years. Just a thought, something to do.
Well, and I know, when you contacted Bill's daughter about this, I think her response was like an hour later.
Yeah, it was less than that. It was like it was via email. So as soon as she saw the email, she's like, "Oh my God, tell me what I need to do." Yes. Yes, this is great. Bill would love this, and so would Sharon, if she could comprehend it. Unfortunately, but Alzheimer's being what it is. So and when I when we emailed her back and said, well, okay, first off, because his call was still an active call, Bill himself had to be a member of the club. Well, since his death predated the forming of the club, he was a member emeritus, which is not good enough for the FCC. So the original request for that call got turned down. So we had to go back and get something from the executor of his estate, and a death certificate and everything, saying, here's what we need. And then it was granted. But when I sent her the screenshot of the FCC website showing that we were now WA6ITF, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm typing through tears of joy." She's thrilled. She's just absolutely thrilled. And we'll try to get her on and activate that call as well one of these days.
Yeah, so, we've talked a little bit about plans. are there any other plans that you're thinking of to, maybe an annual thing to remember Bill, or what's the idea?
Yeah, I've got several things kicking around in my head, and of course, it's going to be a group event with everyone in Newsline. It's not just me. Anybody who, it's my answering machine going off. Anyone who is a current or former staff member of Amateur Radio Newsline is basically a member of the club. I mean, that's how you get in the club. If you've recorded audio for Amateur Radio Newsline, you're basically in the club. Where you've been drafted, whether you want to or not. So you're eligible to you're eligible. I mean, you can activate that call if you would like. And anybody at any time, any of us could, you could go on one Saturday afternoon, and if you want to do WA6ITF, I've actually thought about it. I just haven't had time, and I've got some antenna issues with my HF station now. But I'm seriously thinking about doing it for Field Day.
Oh, yeah.
There doesn't have to be a special event to put that call sign on the air. It's like if one day you want to get on there and you want to say, hey, this is WA6ITF, the Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club, activating, and, if you want to make some contacts and put some calls in the log and sling a few QSL cards out, there's nothing wrong with that. So it doesn't have to be a special event to put it on the air, but we will plan hopefully some annual things. So maybe his birthday or something like that. Yeah.
Well, we talked about flying these cassettes by FedEx across the country, and that's no longer the case. So remind everyone how they can listen to Newsline, and if they want to put Newsline on their local repeater or even simplex for that matter, how they can go and find that information and find out where all these audio files are and get that done.
Yeah, it's super easy. arnewsline.org for Amateur Radio Newsline. Alpha Romeo Newsline.org is the website, and every week you will see a synopsis of what's in the right at the top of the page. You'll see a synopsis of what's in the report, and then you'll see click here for the script and click here for the audio. And you can right-click, save as that audio, and you can play it on your own net. It dovetails really nicely with Echo Producer for EchoLink. There are a lot of nets that run it that way that actually schedule it to where it comes on at a particular time. And you don't necessarily need our permission to run it. Just let us know that you're doing it, because, of course, in the 10-minute ID break every week for the 20-minute newscast, we try to highlight a repeater or a bulletin station who is airing Newsline. And, of course, if you have one of those stations, by all means, let us know. Newsline at arnewsline.org is our email address, and let us know, hey, I'm so-and-so, and this is my net on such and such night at 8 p.m. or whatever, and we run Amateur Radio Newsline, or we run it as a simplex. We run it just however. Just let us know, and we'll put you with our thanks and gratitude in with the ID break in the middle of the show. It's pretty easy. Yep. arnewsline.org.
And the listings on the website, and we can put it on there. And
right.
There's the we call it the hi-fi and lo-fi. I'm not sure where lo-fi. Yep. Well, if there's hi-fi, there's got to be lo-fi. But there's the hi-fi version. It sounds a lot better, but the lo-fi works on Echo Producer.
Right, and if you do use Echo Producer, just give us an email and we'll send you that. It's like a buried link. Basically, is what that is. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
and then it's also available in podcast format, so you can go to any podcast player, and it's
pretty much
right there.
Yeah, it's right there. There's a million different ways to get us. We're in so many places you trip over us.
Probably quite often, even. But that would be appropriate for right now because it's fall.
Exactly. And it's a labor of love for all of us. None of us get paid. There's not been a single person in the 40-year history of Amateur Radio Newsline who has ever made a penny off of this. Everything is volunteer. We do it for the love of the hobby and to give back. And a lot of us just because of Bill. Bill was one of those guys who, kind of like the Godfather, he made you an offer you couldn't refuse. You know, you could not say no to Bill. And on the very few occasions since 1995, when I first got involved with Newsline, that I actually had to say, I'm sorry, I can't do it this week. It killed me inside every time. So he was just one of those guys that you just could not say no to. And I've never heard a bad word about Bill Pasternak, ever. In fact, he's the only person that's ever been honored twice by the Dayton Amateur Radio Association with awards from Hamvention, the only ham ever to have been awarded twice by the Dayton Hamvention. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, pretty impressive.
Yep.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some other things that Newsline is doing, and who knows what else. When Don's on the show, you know, you never know where this is going to go.
Settle down now, Neil.
Yeah. So strap in, grab a beverage, and we'll be back with Don right after this word. Yeah, maybe from
if we're lucky.
ICOM. We'll be back after ICOM has a few words right here on Ham Talk Live. Heard it, worked it, logged it. It's time to get the transceiver that's best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high performance and innovative products. Make the most out of contest season with one of these ICOMs today. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent ones. The IC7610 by ICOM is a direct sampling, software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has RF direct sampling, 110 RMDR, independent dual receiver, and dual digicell. The IC7300 is changing the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. With RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. And, of course, the IC7851 keeps your competitive contesting edge with faster processors, higher input gain, higher display resolution, and a cleaner signal. ICOM's IC7851 is the pinnacle of HF perfection. It has dual receivers, digital IF filters, memory keyer, digital voice recorder, high-resolution spectrum waterfall display, enhanced PC connectivity, and an SD memory card slot. For more information on ICOM radios, be sure to visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur.
Join the conversation. Give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live. It's not the amount of power, it's the size of our tower. Ham Talk Live.
Thanks to ICOM America for bringing Ham Talk Live your way each and every week. Check them out at ICOMAmerica.com/amateur. And Ham Talk Live is on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here at HamTalkLive.com. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And it's time for your phone calls now. So if you have a question for Don, give us a call at 812-638-4261. That's 812-NET-HAM1. 812-638-4261. Or you can tweet us at Ham Talk Live. And if you're listening to us on WTWW or on the podcast edition, we're not here. Don has left the building.
Well, not quite, but soon to be ushered off.
Yes, soon to be ushered off. Because if you're listening to us on WTWW, it's Saturday, not Thursday.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to us on the podcast, it's sometime after the show. So
Yes, yeah.
So we're not here. So
No.
give us a call. If it's Thursday night, give us a call, 812-638-4261. Now, let's talk a little bit about some other things Newsline is doing, and we've put together this new presentation that we can do over Skype or in person for clubs. So talk about this club presentation thing.
Yeah, in fact, I tell you, who spearheaded that was Paul Brown, WD9GCO. He more or less put that together, I believe, and he joined me at the Peoria Superfest in September, which also was my birthday party. It just happened to be the same, within a couple of days of my birthday. So it was the Peoria, Illinois Superfest and Don's 59th birthday party, which was very cool. And it worked out very well. They invited me up there. I think
it was listed that way in Q Street, too.
Oh, good. That's funny. Well, any excuse for a party, right? But we went up there. I was invited up there to speak, to do a forum, and we used the PowerPoint for the first time, and it worked out great. Drew Vreba, our current Young Ham of the Year, was there as well, because he only lives about 45 minutes away. He lives in Normal, Illinois, just about 45 minutes away from Peoria. And that was probably the high point of the trip, that and the fact that they did birthday cake for me the Friday night before the Ham Fest. The low point of the trip, unfortunately, was sharing a hotel room with Paul Brown, WD9GCO. But it's a balance. No, Paul was actually a really just it was a lot of fun to be around. And first, as the longest I'd really spent with him, other than at Hamvention. But no, Paul's a good guy, and I got to see his amazing install. If you saw Ham Nation last night, we had about a 4.5 minute video of Paul's radio install in his Subaru Impreza, which is a manual shift, but he added the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, and he has turned those into push-to-talk buttons for his two VHF UHF radios in his car. I'd have never thought about that, but it's a pretty cool project. So check out the latest Ham Nation from last night, the 23rd, depending on when you're listening to this, and you'll see a little video of that, about 4.5 minutes or so of Paul's install. So, the PowerPoint worked really great at Peoria, and just a big thanks to the folks there for having us up there. Just really good host and a great little ham fest, and I certainly hope to be back up there at some point in the near future.
And this is also available to clubs for club meetings during or over Skype. We can do that way if you're not close by. I actually did one up in Franklin, Indiana. But it was close enough I could run up there and do it myself, and got to see one of our correspondents, Jack Parker, W8ISH, and we had him try out reading The World of DX, or as I like to call it, The World of Unpronounceable Names.
Yes, exactly. Bill used to give me those, and I would email him back and go, "What in the heck is this?" And he would well, I know you're always, and he always told me, he said, "I give the hard ones to you because you never mess them up." I'm like, wow, that's high praise. But
like some people do with Placer County.
That's Placer County. Placer County. That's all right. But I've spent a lot of time in Central California. I've got relatives there, so when I heard Placer County, I immediately knew, no, it's supposed to be Placer County.
That's what happens really good when you're trying to produce Newsline 2 minutes before Ham Talk Live.
Right, and you don't always have time to Google things, and when I do the anchoring, I try to take time to go through and if there's something that I can't pronounce, I'll Google it and do the Google pronunciation and have you can. It's very cool. You can have a native speaker in that language pronounce it for you, which really helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. I use that a lot.
You got to go by and check, recheck call signs when you're doing the Newsline anchoring. That was another thing. Bill, if you ever, for those of you who knew Bill, he wrote exactly the way he spoke, which made for some interesting scripts sometimes. When it would take me an hour and a half to put together a 30-minute newscast when Bill would send me a script. It's a lot faster now that Karen Eve Murray is writing it, because she writes for news, and Bill kind of wrote the way he spoke a lot of times, and so it's a lot easier. And let me tell you something. If you're a club and you want to have one of us from Newsline come and like do a Skype thing or whatever, we're all available. But I'll tell you who would be very interesting would be Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT. She's kind of the unsung hero. She's the one who basically puts words in our mouths. She is the editor-in-chief for Amateur Radio Newsline and is responsible for putting those words down so that those of us who anchor or read the stories can have that. So she has taken over Bill's place as editor, and I just want to put a plug out. If you want to get somebody from Newsline to come and do a Skype meeting, or by all means, Karen Eve Murray is fascinating. Just her hobbies and some of the things that she's involved with outside of amateur radio, with animal rescue, and she's got a thing for squirrels, which could explain why she is a member of the Newsline staff, because, well, we're all nuts.
We're all nuts, exactly. Yeah. So,
but no, we're all available. Just send an email to newsline@newsline.org and inquire, and we'd be more than happy to do that. And if you want to, much in the same way that Peoria did for me, if you want to fly one of us if you want to have one of us at your event in person, it's just get us there and put us up in a hotel room, and then there's no charge other than just the travel expenses of getting us there and getting us back. And we don't charge anything extra for that. So it's a lot easier with Skype and a heck of a lot cheaper now. So we're available whatever you need for us. We're out there. We love to spread the word about Amateur Radio Newsline and keep Bill's legacy alive.
Now, you mentioned Karen, and now that we've established that Karen is the one writing the words, we can put all blame for puns.
Yes,
on
she's
Karen.
Our mama. Karen is our mama.
That is true. That is very true.
And I mean that in the best possible way. She's like, I don't know who hosted Romper Room like in your TV market when you were a kid, but in New Orleans it was Miss Fran, and so she is our Miss Fran. She's the one who's in charge of the Newsline Romper Room. She keeps us in line. Yeah, and
or at least she tries.
I don't know what we do without her. I really don't. She's amazing.
I know.
Yes,
and
godsend.
She can write, and the puns are just unbelievable.
Oh, she's hilarious. But it's amazing how she came to us. When Bill was ill, we had missed a couple of weeks of Newsline for like the first time in like 35 years. Had never missed a deadline, missed a week. And when Bill went in the hospital, suddenly things stopped, Well, Bill had been in and out of the hospital, and I remember one night, Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, I had something going on behind the scenes to where my evenings were taken, so I actually took about 2 months off of doing pretty much anything for Amateur Radio Newsline, and Skeeter stepped in to do a lot of the anchoring and stuff when Bill was ill. And I remember I'm sitting here one night in this chair, and my phone rings, and it's Skeeter. And I pick up the phone. He goes, "Hey, I have Bill on the phone." I'm like, "Really?" So we're talking. And we're talking about Newsline. And Skeeter is like, well, we got an email from this lady, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, and she used to write for New York Newsday, and she's done some broadcast writing, and she's really interested in helping us out. And we think that she could be a good person to, help with the scripts. And Bill just is sitting there going, hire her, hire her, hire her, hire her, get her on the staff, just tell her she's in, just hire her, hire her, hire her. 24 hours later, Bill Pasternak had passed away.
Yeah.
So that was the last thing that Bill told us to do, was to hire Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, and it's the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah, she's done a fabulous job. Well, we have a call on the Ham Talk Live hotline, 812-638-4261, so let's see who we have here. Good evening. Welcome to Ham Talk Live.
Good evening, Neil and Don. Denny here with a new call sign, K5DCC.
Oh, my goodness, you got a new call sign.
Yeah, to go with the Digicom Cafe theme. But anyway, I heard Don was talking about doing some promo spots on the AR Newsline. And I know Don's all about young people. Don, you probably have already met Ed, Captain Ed of the yacht on the Echolink conference server with all these fantastic young hams. I'll tell you what, they just blow my mind, from like 7 years old and in their teens. We've got such an amazing crop of kids there. And we have 2 nets a week, Tuesday night and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central. We're looking for more young people. And these people are really setting the example for the rest of the amateur radio world, I'll tell you what. So if you get a chance, if you can put a plug in for them and our nets, we're combining some resources and stuff to help expand their reach. And as well listened to as the AR Newsline is, it would be great to have you kind of promote them too. I think you already know some of these young people.
Yeah, absolutely. I missed part of the question because my Bluetooth disconnected for some reason. I'm like, all of a sudden I quit talking and there's silence. I'm like, wait a minute, let me turn my Bluetooth on and back off and back on. So anyway, I'm off the Bluetooth now, and we're more than happy to support anything youth oriented and yacht especially, and we're all about that. So yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thanks for all you do. Anyway, just had to let you know my new call sign. That was a big thing for me. I stumbled across this call sign that just fit so perfectly, and nobody was fighting over it, which was surprising. But anyway, now I've had 2 days of trying to straighten out all of my places where I use this call sign, email addresses, websites, digital platforms, and everything. I don't know if you guys have ever had to go through that before, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's always traumatic to change your call sign, which is why when I finally got my extra class call sign, I tattooed it on my arm. So I don't think I'll ever change it. But no, it's like changing an email address. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I'm listening to your show, Neil, on Twitter. I've got it in my tweet nest here, and I was just going down the list on my website, and I saw live. Ham Talk Live is on, and right below that was another post with the phone number and everything, so it worked out pretty slick. And I see what's at one Don Wilbanks. Is that something different? Wasn't it just Don Wilbanks?
No, that's my Twitter handle, at one Don Wilbanks.
Okay. I thought maybe you had to make some changes, too, at some point in time.
No,
thanks.
There's only one, and it's all we could stand, so.
Well, thanks, guys, for all you do for the hobby.
Thanks, Denny.
All right, thanks, Denny.
Yeah, I got to spend some time with him in Huntsville. Great guy. He does a lot of things with the stuff that he does. Just a great guy.
Yep, sure does. The Digicom Cafe with Denny. And now I'm going to have to get used to that new call.
Yeah.
812-638-4261 is the phone number if you'd like to join us. 812-638-4261 is the number. So give us a call. We'll finish things up here in just a few minutes. But Don, you've been doing the Hamfest rounds lately. Peoria and Huntsville, Dayton, Oklahoma City not long ago.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, and that was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that. Dayton, I go when I can. I don't always get to make that every year, unfortunately. Huntsville, got to make that because that's Young Ham of the Year, and got invited up to Peoria, and that was just a really cool thing. So yeah, thanks to the Peoria folks and the Oklahoma City folks for inviting me and making it possible for me to come up and do those. Just humbled and honored to be able to, even be asked to do that. So, yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Well, we've got another call on the line, so we'll see who we have now. Good evening. Welcome to Ham Talk Live.
Good evening, Neil, and to you, Mr. Wilbanks. This is Bill WZ1L in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and I am calling because I have been a faithful listener to the broadcast of Amateur Radio Newsline for many years. I was licensed in 1981 and keep up with what's going on and even hear the snippets that are put out on Wednesday evening on Ham Nation. I was pleased to learn that the WA6ITF call sign will continue to be heard on the airways. I believe I met him once, I think in Dayton, and because he was mobbed like you guys there when you go to Dayton and you hang around the Newsline booth. It was really interesting to at least meet him and shake hands with him when he was there. I look forward to future reports, and I just wanted to let the AR Newsline staff know that they're appreciated. So that's all. All I wanted to do was make a comment.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Yeah, I mean, we do it because we share the enthusiasm and the calling that Bill had for A, letting people know what's going on in this hobby, and B, promoting youth and education in amateur radio and incorporating that. And because the kids, that the next generation is the lifeblood of this hobby, or of any hobby. Whether it's old cars or basket weaving or baseball card collecting or whatever it is. If you don't get the youth involved, it's going to end. It's just going to die off because, we all have a limited shelf life, unfortunately. But we all share that passion that Bill had for youth and kids and ham radio. And so we're trying to keep the torch lit, and really appreciate the kind words. We truly do. And thank you very much for that.
I appreciate that, and thank you, Neil, for letting me call in. And we'll try again pretty soon on another Ham Talk Live.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it, and appreciate all the kind words. Thanks a lot for calling. All right, we have another call on the line, and so it's Jocelyn, KD8VRX, who I heard on HF this afternoon. Hi, Jocelyn.
Hey, good evening, Neil, and good evening to Don. It's nice to have Don back on. I know it's a slow night, but I'm glad he could take it.
Hey, man. What am I? Listen, Jocelyn and his whole family, they're just some of my favorite people, and I love you guys to death. It's so cool that you call in. It must be a real slow night up there where you are.
Don, you're not wrong. I am almost in an empty house. But anyways, no, I was going to say, I think the fact that you got the Bill Pasternak's call sign for the Amateur Radio Newsline Club is quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to work you guys as a special event for whatever you do. I'm sure there'll be plenty of youth activities that maybe you can use that call sign for. Anything you can come up with, anything we can do to help, we'd be happy to help you out. I think it's a great thing. And I saw you were talking about Paul Brown's paddle shift thing yesterday. Yeah, he's a lot cleverer than you and me combined.
Yeah, he really is. He's too clever for his own good.
It's very cool. Very cool. Anyways, I know you've got more people that want to chime in. So, Don, I just want to say a quick hello and hope everything's fine, and we'll see you soon. And Neil, I will maybe talk to you on 20 tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So, anyways, good night, guys, and thank you for being there tonight.
Well, thank you. Tell the boys I said hi, and my love to Kim, and I just love you guys to death. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
Same from here, and well, we can try 20. I don't know. We're so close.
You never know.
Try it. We'll try it. One more day of School Club Roundup, so we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, you guys
Take
do
care,
that.
Jocelyn.
I'm always driving home from work when School Club Roundup's on. I always miss it.
No, we're on till 8 o'clock.
Oh, are you? Okay, well.
Yeah, we go 3 to 8 at our school, so you know you can catch some of the universities on at night too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep, one more night. So it makes for some long days from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. But it's a whole lot of fun, and we've got a new guy this year that hadn't been in ham radio before. He went to a summer camp for Boy Scouts and got his license. He got his radio merit badge, got his license, came back and came in one day and said, hey, I wanted to find out about the Ham Radio Club. I've got my license, but I've never been on the radio before. And so we got him on. It took a while to get him kind of used to the mic and everything, but tonight he's just been rattling off contacts 2 and 3 a minute. So
very cool.
It's a pretty cool time. So if
That's
you get
awesome.
a chance to get on the air, if you're listening, get on. There's a lot of people warming up for CQ Worldwide out there too. We talked to Croatia and Serbia today and St. Lucia and I forget where all. They're out there warming up, so it's a fabulous time to be on the air because we just had Jamboree on the air. We've got people warming up for CQ Worldwide this weekend. We've got School Club Roundup all week, and as soon as School Club Roundup ends, CQ Worldwide starts. So there's no lack of people out there to contact on the air right now. So if you get a chance, give some schools a call. It ends at 23:59 tomorrow, and then get on CQ Worldwide.
Cool stuff.
Well, Don, it looks like our time has gone away here, but we've got a note here from Troy Simpson, W9KVR, just got back from parent-teacher conferences, so wish he could have put those hours in for School Club Roundup, but
yeah, really.
Yeah, so we've talked to Troy this week as well, and hopefully he can get a little more airtime before 23:59 tomorrow. But Don, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for coming on and talking about this new old call sign and all the plans for the future.
My pleasure. I mean, I'm always happy to spread the word and always happy to be on with you. And you're one of my favorite people, too, you and Julie. And, of course, give my love to your lovely Julie. And thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, thank you. And have you found any green cars lately? We didn't talk about that.
No. We'll maybe that'll be something we can talk about the next time you have a slow night. Green cars and red guitars and what that means to me.
Green cars and red guitars.
Yeah.
There we go.
And hillbilly music. No, that's a whole different thing. That's a Dwight. Right. See, I just went to a Dwight Yoakam concert last week, so now I've got guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music. That was green cars, red guitars, and hillbilly music. That's what I'm into right there.
There you go. All right.
With apologies
thanks
to Dwight.
Yeah. All right, we'll go fill that wine glass back up, and
I'll do it.
We'll be talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much. All right, well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guest, Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening and calling in. And I invite you back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. For a list of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com. And if you like the show, please leave us a review. That helps others find us faster. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.